Hello luminaries, I am AmITheA. Please join me as we browse Reddit. This story is brought to us by AmITheA as your uncle. I'll try to keep this short. I had a 1967 Impala 4-door that I bought in February 2019. A couple months ago I bought my first house that had a 2.5 car garage. I moved the car in and started tearing it down for a complete restoration. I had the body in one bay and the chassis in another, plus the whole garage filled with parts. About 2 months ago my girlfriend came to live with me during this whole crisis and the whole time has hated that car. She wants to park in the garage, but I have 2 acres of land with a lot of nice places to park under shady trees, or hell even in the barn if it has to be inside. I tell her tough luck, it's my house and it's not like I can just throw it back together real quick. Anyways, I was out of town for a couple days on a business trip for the small local company I work for. When I got back, my girlfriend was all smiles. Making me food all the time, doing all the chores, all that. I thought maybe she just was happy to have me home, but then I realized that I didn't see her car in its usual spot. I asked her where she parked so I could make sure I mow that area and keep it clean, and she said not to worry because she parked in the garage. I asked how and she told me to go check it out. Turns out that while I was gone, she hired some people to come over and move everything related to that car, including the drivetrain, body and chassis, all the parts, and take it to the local dump/scrapyard. I was absolutely dumbfounded. I had spent over $11,000 on that car, including new parts, services, and the car itself. I told her that I was going to be taking her to court for that, and she brushed me off like I was being dramatic. I told her that it's done between us and to pack her things and leave. I admit I was really angry, but I did end up getting a lawyer, and as I have all the receipts for all that money spent, and I have her on my house's security cam footage letting the guys in and watching them take it all, I think I can win. Her family and friends are absolutely blowing me up, saying it's just a stupid old piece of junk and that she cannot pay back all that money I spent, and that I should just let it go. But I have been putting all my time, effort, and money into that car for a year and a half now, and god damn it if I am not going to get justice for what she did. Am I the butthole? Edit. Thank you all so much for the support and awards and everything. I'm glad I have some people on my side. I got a call from her mom about 20 minutes ago and she told me that I was ruining her daughter's life over a stupid car. I told her she ruined her own life. I've been gathering documentation and stuff and I'm about to head down to the police station and file a report, as suggested by Lots here. Once again thank you all. Update. Went to the police station last night, was told to come back in the morning. Just got back and filed an official report against her for grand larceny and grand theft auto. I showed them all the receipts I had for the car and the footage of her letting the guys come and take it, as well as the title for the vehicle in my name. They said they will be in contact with all 3 parties, me, ex-girlfriend, and junkyard guys, soon, and they will hopefully be able to recover some or all of the car. Just have to wait now. Huge update. They found my goddamn car. The junkyard guys apparently were in the middle of hiding it when the police came to ask them questions. It was on a forklift and they were going to put it on top of a pile of cars that was hidden behind more piles of cars. They said it was theirs and they had the title, but obviously didn't have the title for it, and since they matched the VIN on the chassis and body to the VIN on my title, it was obviously mine. I know at least one person there has been arrested. I think he was in the camera footage I talked about earlier, but I don't know if it was the boss or whomever or even his specific charge. They also told me they would be looking into this specific junkyard for any other vehicles reported stolen. They said they haven't been able to get in contact with my ex just yet, but they're working on it. I'm just so glad they found my car. Luckily, I made quite an album of pictures detailing me tearing down the car, so I can use that to prove what parts they had were mine, so I can hopefully get most or all of it back. Police haven't let me take it back home yet, as they say it is evidence or something. So hopefully, I can get it back eventually. Thank you all so much for the support and advice. She's gonna be alright. You are definitely not the butthole. You did just end your relationship with one though. This story was posted by Party Yogurt Closet. I've been married to my wife for 2 years now and she's always wanted to have a child with me. She mentions it often. I've even been trying to have one with her. The problem is that I've had a vasectomy and she doesn't know. My ex-wife came over and dropped off our 3 kids, 9, 5 and 4 years old. And she's pregnant by her now husband. Well, her and my wife were talking about her new baby and if she knew the gender. Now, my ex knows that I've been fixed, as I did so after our youngest was born. While my wife says I can't wait to be pregnant, we've been trying to have a baby with no luck, but it will happen when God allows it. My ex just smiled and she then looked at me, and I knew what she was thinking with the look she gave me. Later she texted me and told me I needed to tell my wife the truth and that she had baby fever and it was cruel to give her false hopes, and pretty much called me a butthole. So, am I the butthole? I know it's a little dishonest, but it would break my wife's heart to know the truth. You most assuredly are the butthole. You have been the butthole from the moment you became serious with your current wife and did not tell her you had a vasectomy. This is a horrid betrayal of her trust. She could be living in persistent agony, wondering why she has not become pregnant yet. On a scale, you are 4.5 buttholes out of 5. This was posted by supposed misogynist. Throwaway account and obligatory mobile formatting apology. I, 52 male, am the father of 3 kids, 15 female, 7 female, and 7 male. The last 2 are twins and are very close, having the tendency to copy each other. I love and adore them all equally. My son is not a very masculine kid, and is less interested in some of my hobbies because of this. He has always preferred whatever his mother and older sister did, like baking or dancing. I have no problem with this. I love him as he is, but to be honest, I'm slightly disappointed that we haven't had the kind of amazing father-son bonding that I got to have with my grandpa. My dad died when I was pretty young, when I was a kid. Since I'm at home almost all the time now, I've been seeing just how feminine his interests have gotten. Asking to help cook every meal, helping his older sister alter second-hand clothes, and playing pretend. He's even asked to have his sister paint his nails. I'm not upset or bothered by it, but it isn't typical for young boys. I've been working out at home instead of at the gym because of our current circumstances, and when my son came in while I was lifting weights in the family room, he showed an interest in it. He was excited about the idea of having big muscles, and tried out some of the 5-pound ones. Even though he mentioned being like She-Ra, from some new Netflix reboot, I think. It was still progress in my eyes, and it seemed like he was showing interest in masculine hobbies. I praised him and did the whole, "Wow, you're so strong" thing in kid talk to encourage him. When his sisters walked in, the twin joined in. Like I said, they have the tendency to want to do what the other is doing, so she expected the same kind of, "Wow, so strong" stuff. When I wasn't as enthusiastic with her and focused on my son, my oldest got annoyed and asked why I was treating them differently. I explained to her that because he hadn't taken interest in these kinds of masculine hobbies before, I wanted to foster his own identity as a boy separate from his twin sister. She accused me of being misogynistic for this. She then said that I was the butthole for making his sister feel weaker and implying that I didn't approve of his feminine interests. I don't think I'm the butthole, because there's no reason for my daughter to be inclined towards this kind of thing, but my son should be developing a more masculine personality as he gets older. When she told my wife, 41 female, she also blew up at me, saying I was acting like a cartoon misogynist. Both of them are pissed. So, Reddit, am I the butthole? Edit. Hey everyone. I was 100% the butthole. I appreciate that some people try to empathize and say not the butthole or not butthole to be charitable, but I'm in the wrong here, and I knew it deep down while I was writing the post. Rereading it, I feel ridiculous for writing that all out. I want to say thank you, because these comments were the objective kick in the butt I really needed. I realize now that I was really out of line for saying that crap and making my daughters feel that way. I set up a stupid false dichotomy, and my daughter was very right, I was being a misogynist. No excuse for that. I apologized to both of them and my wife an hour after I posted. I also shared this post with my little brother, who, as I mentioned in a comment, was teased for being effeminate as a kid/teen, especially after he came out. I think some people took me mentioning that as blaming him, which wasn't my intention at all. None of my behavior is his or anybody else's fault. We talked for a while, and that, along with many of the comments you guys left, made me aware of how badly I'm treating my son. My grandpa, who raised my brother and I for most of our lives, was a manly guy who I've always idolized completely. Well, my brother made me aware that my grandpa in particular made him feel crappy about his femininity and his sexual orientation. He would regularly say degrading, terrible things. I was oblivious to just how much that hurt him, and it seems that I've picked up some of these same ideas. I've been such a jerk for so long, and now that I realize how absurd some of the ideas I've held onto are, I know how much of a disservice I've done to my boy. I shouldn't try to make him change just to protect him from bullies. In this situation, I'm the bully. As much as it hurts to think. I'm planning on talking with him about this issue and apologizing. If we can this week, I want to let him choose something that he likes that we can do together. I'm not going to make the same mistakes my grandpa did. At my brother's and some Redditors' suggestions, I'm considering trying out therapy or a support group. After a mistake, huge screw up, like this, I think I ought to try to be the best dad, and big brother I can be, and work to stop thinking that way, especially when I've already done so much damage. I'm sorry about the extremely long edit, but thank you for your responses and helping me with this issue. I showed my wife some comments and she also thanks you all. Edit 2. This will probably be the final update, but wow! I'm overwhelmed with all the responses, I wasn't expecting so many. Thank you to everyone, I'm glad you guys were honest, but still encouraging. I'm sorry I haven't been able to reply to you all. I got a lot of really kind and personal messages, and I want you guys to know I've taken it to heart. Some people asked what I'm going to do with my daughters, since it seems like I focused more on my son in the edit. My oldest wants to try Krav Maga, so in the coming weeks we're hoping to find a place that'll accommodate both ages. Youngest daughter has wanted to learn how to roller skate too, so my 15-year-old may have to teach us both. I was able to talk to my son for a while this morning and apologize for yesterday. Talking about gender roles and all the trauma surrounding my grandpa may be something I'll talk to him more about as he gets older, but I got the message across that I support whatever he's interested in. I asked him about She-Ra, some commenters told me that it's fun for adults too, and we watched a few episodes together. You guys were right. My oldest and I both thought it was very cute. I asked him what he would want to do together, and he mentioned trying to alter something. I brought down a box of my old stuff from the attic and lo and behold, I found one of the 80s Hawaiian shirts my grandpa bought me, probably an effort to make me look like Tom Selleck. With some guidance from my oldest, we're going to try to make it fit my son with room for him to grow into it. I think it'll turn out nicely, and because it's really vintage my 15-year-old loves it. So, everything is pretty good right now. I invited my brother over, lives a few hours away, for dinner so my son and I can make him something. I can't believe that I was feeling upset about him liking baking and everything, I'm lucky that my boy wants to help everyone. So, I'm definitely the butthole, but I'm slowly becoming not the butthole. Thank you all. I showed my oldest some of my favorite comments and she thinks they're great and I should expect a Clown of the Year award for a Father's Day gift, haha. Supposed misogynist, was being a rather large butthole. It is fantastic that after writing it all out, even he could see that. It is wonderful that he is putting in the work to improve himself and to be a supportive father to all of his children. Thank you for listening, luminaries. Kindly like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Lastly, please indulge me by pondering this. Be careful when deciding someone is your enemy, an enemy made is a friend forfeited. Until next time, luminaries.